Hey, what's up, guys? Hunter Hayes here. Thanks for visiting us, and thanks for listening to CMT Radio Live. I've got a bunch of questions from you guys, so if it's cool, I'm going to go ahead and start firing away here and seeing what we get. Kara from Newark says, when is your next tour starting? In a matter of minutes. We're going back out, luckily, with Miss Carrie Underwood on the Blown Away tour. We started, obviously, later last year, and had a blast. It was fun. And we're going back out and doing some more of the Blown Away shows. We've improved the show a little bit. We've changed it up. In fact, it's going to change every night now, probably. But yeah, we're looking forward to getting back on the road with that because it's fun. You know, Carrie's awesome. She's so cool, and we're having fun. So that starts, I think, next week, something like that. Oh, we're close. We're close. What is your favorite inspiring quote? Anyone that says be you or be yourself or anything to that effect, I've seen several different versions of that. I don't know. I didn't identify with that for a long time. I kind of ignored it, I guess. But that's the one thing that I've learned in everything that I've done, is that there is no right or wrong way to be yourself. Like there's no, I feel like I, for one, set up expectations for myself, or I feel like I make up all these things that I'm supposed to be or supposed to do, and it's very important just to kind of, step back from that and just say, no, this is, who do I want to be? What do I want my legacy to be? And what do I want people to know me for? And you live your life that way, and you end up being really happy with being yourself because you don't have to work so hard at being yourself. So yeah, whatever applies to that. Samantha from Great Falls, what is your favorite part about writing your own songs? Writing my own songs, that's my favorite part. I think I've played tons of other tunes. I love covering tunes. I love covering music because there's a lot of songs out there that I sort of wish I'd written. But in saying that, I wish I'd written them because when you write a song, you're attached to it. It's like it's your own, and whether it's good or bad, you own it, and it's yours. It's yours forever. And there's a good little sense of ownership in that. I don't know. It's personal, and it means something to you, and it means something to me. That's why I like writing. Hannah from Queens, New York. If you could tour with anybody, who would it be? There's a lot of people I would love to tour with. I think Stevie Wonder would be one of them. Keith Urban. Let's see. U2? Can we make that happen? There's tons. I don't know. Stay tuned. We'll see what we can actually, pull off, I guess you could say. Drew from Norfolk. I haven't had enough coffee, so excuse me, guys. Sorry. Running out of energy. What is your absolute favorite food? Cajun food, of course. I'm from Louisiana. Easy. That was easy. Cajun food. And Drew, if you haven't had any, I advise you to do so quickly. Jaylee from Evansville says, when did you learn to play the guitar? I was 6. I was given a guitar, and I just started kind of messing around with it. I have to tell the whole story. Funny thing is, my family's not musical, like my mom or my dad. My mom said that she was going to go take guitar lessons one summer, and so she came home every night after guitar lessons, and she'd show me like one chord that she'd learned that day. And she never practiced, like she never picked it up again. Like that 2 weeks was the only time I think she's ever held a guitar since then. But I started messing around with it, and that's kind of where I learned the guitar, and then I started kind of messing around with it more on my own. And yeah, that was it became my favorite instrument. There's no hiding it. It is my favorite instrument. Aaron from Charlotte, are your songs about anybody? Maybe. Yes, they are. They are about certain people. It has to be. Yeah. It's kind of weird for me to talk about this, but yeah, they are about people. They are about people that I know, who shall remain anonymous, for their safety. What is your favorite song to perform live? Somebody's Heartbreak is my favorite song to perform live. If you've been to a show, you know why. If you haven't, you should come and you'll see why. It's one of those songs. There's certain songs in the show that we have arrangements for that stay the same every night, and there's certain songs that we don't have any arrangements for that change, and there's certain songs that go in the middle of those, and Somebody's Heartbreak is one of those. It starts out with a really simple arrangement, and then after a certain point in the song, there's no arrangement. Anything can happen. And we go off on that song and we play, we jam. It's a guitar jam for me. I get to play a bunch of solos and stuff. So that's from Roya in Washington. Thank you so much for that. Nikki from Scranton, Pennsylvania says, who are your closest friends in the music business? I got a lot. I've been really fortunate. I've gotten to meet a lot of my heroes, and I've gotten to be friends with them, if you will. Not in the like, hey, let's go grab coffee kind of way, but in the they've been really supportive. And I've gotten to hang out with them and get to know them. Taylor was one of the first people I got to go on tour with, and she was awesome. Taylor Swift, obviously. And Keith Urban's been so cool. I had the chance to actually get on stage and jam with him. And Vince Gill, too. I got to jam with Vince Gill not too long ago. And we've actually, done a couple of shows together. There's so many people who've been so supportive. I even, one night, I met Merle Haggard backstage. And he actually remarkably knew who I was, knew of my music, and he was very complimentary, and that blew me away. I think if anything I can say about the music business, that I've met a lot of my heroes, and they've become friends, and that just shows you, how cool of people they are, They're just really down to earth and really, just, I don't know, they're awesome. Alex says, aside from singing, is there anything else you've ever dreamed of doing? It's all music. I'm kind of boring that way. I'm sorry. I'm just very, very, very boring and predictable. But it's all music. I like I'm taking some flying lessons. I want to get my pilot's license. I feel like that would be fun. There's other things. I love the video side of the world. We make our sort of weekly webisodes. I get to be a part of some of that, nowadays. But it's honestly mostly music, whether it's writing, studio, just playing or singing or performing or whatever. It's all kind of feeds back to that, Hazel from the Philippines, awesome. What is your height? Not tall enough. I am 5'4", 5'5". I don't know. I'm really short. Put it that way. Jasmine from Jasper. That's tricky. We should call that something. We should phrase that differently. Jasmine from Jasper. Thank you for your question. What is the first thing that goes through your mind when you walk out on stage? Don't mess up. Don't mess up. Don't trip. Don't fall. And don't mess up. Julie from Sacramento. What cities do you enjoy visiting? Every single one of them. Obviously Sacramento as well. I don't know. It's that's one of my favorite things about being on tour. I definitely love the big cities where we're whatever the venue is, it's in the city. Because most of the time when we go to a city and we play in a town, we very seldom actually get to see the whole thing. Some days we do. Some days we some days we even have days off in cities before or whatever. But most of the time we're sort of in and out really quickly. So I love when we're in the middle of a city and we can actually check the place out. I can walk around downtown and see it and experience it. Beth from Toledo says, what do you tell people who try and compare you to other country stars? Thank you. I say thank you. I don't know. I say thank you. Being compared to anybody is pretty cool. I don't know. That's cool. Laura from Niagara Falls. Do you prefer larger venues or smaller venues? That's a tough one because I love the real sort of, you can hear a pin drop of some smaller venues where that's such a vulnerable, you almost feel like you're standing on a stage by yourself, and that used to scare me quite badly. But I've gotten to a point where I really enjoy those shows because we can mess around, we can change the arrangement, and it just feels more real. But there is something to be said about going into an arena where there's 20,000 people there for a show. The energy in a room like that is incomparable. So I think we've been working really hard on bringing those elements of the smaller venue shows back into the big venues because you can kind of get the best of both worlds that way. And it is a compromise on both ends, but I feel like you can get a personal side of things in a big venue. Whereas sometimes you can't get all the energy in a big venue into a smaller venue. I don't know if that makes any sense, so I'll just go on to the next question. Holly from Napa, California. What would you say has been your greatest achievement since you've started music? The CMA was a pretty big deal, and 3 Grammy nominations. Honestly, that's that's a pretty big deal too. I don't know how to level that off if one, but that's they're huge compliments in different ways, I guess, is the way I kind of look at it. But that's a big deal for me. I just got my music out there. I just got to go on my first headline tour. Like we're just getting to do what I've always loved to do, and to be recognized for that at this point is not something you expect, not something you anticipate, and it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. So we got time for one more. Shay from Salt Lake says, how many times do you see your parents in a month, and do you miss them a lot? I don't get to, actually, there's some months I don't get to see them at all. We stay on the road quite a bit, and if it's anything, it's Facebook. But no, I get to see them every time I go home, which is not that often. I live in Nashville now, but actually live in a tour bus. I go back to Nashville every now and then. But yeah, I get to see them every now and then, and I do miss them. I miss my family. So yeah, thank you guys for all your questions. Thanks for tuning in to CMT Radio Live. You rock. I'll see you at a show soon.